Woohoo! How are you? Beautiful day today, isn't it? At least it is here. I don't know if you can hear that air conditioner in the background, but we're going to be solving that problem, hopefully. Okay. Now, I don't know if you heard a little bit earlier, my animals were saying, hey, you forgot to feed us. So while we're waiting for more people to come on, I'm going to go and take care of my fur babies, as they are affectionately called. So hang on, and I will be right back. Those of you who know astrology, this is my soul chart. It's my latest invention. Learn astrology basic science, because life is indefinite chaos until we find divine order. So I'm going to put that there, and we're going to talk about 1776 Restoration Movement. Santa had stated that it was officially started at the Red Men Lodge number 84, and that would have been on Sunday, May 22nd, 22. So hang on, I'm going to go feed my dogs, and I shall return. All right, puppy doggies. Get some food. Hey, for those of you joining me, I had to step away and feed the puppies. You hear them telling me that they're hungry in the background. I should have got to them first, but what can I say? I'll be right back. If you have any questions, stick your questions up. We are going to be talking about the birth chart of 1776. And I also have on there what today's planetary aspects are and how they will also affect the 1776. So those of you who know astrology, you're going to be looking at it through my soul chart. It's my latest invention. Right now you're looking at the numbers for 1776. Someone had asked me a while ago about doing it, so I have done it. But I forgot to feed the dogs, and I have to take care of it, so give me 5. All right, puppies, let's go. Who's ready to eat? Here you go, Maddie. Okay, come on, Melly. Come on, come on, Brady. Come. Good girl. Alrighty then. Hello, hello. How are you? Alright. GLoLady here. Let's get this show on the road. Alright, I think we have that set up in the right position that y'all can see what's going on. And let me get my computer opened up so that I can read the comments that you might have on the YouTube stream. Hopefully I can see it while it's streaming. Okay, my channel. Oh, here we go. Oops, sounds like I better turn off the sound. Sounds like there's a delay in it. All right. Yep, most definitely a delay. I guess that's in the transfer of the information. It's taken a while to do it. All right, well, since it takes a while, I'm gonna brush my hair. So, what questions would you guys might have? How many of you know astrology and understand astrology? Uh-oh, I can see one thing I did wrong already. For those of you who know astrology and those of you who don't, look in the first house. Okay, here's your houses. Look what's in the first house. Anybody know what glyph that is? Well, Aries does come at the beginning. Whoops. What are we doing? All right, where did Gemini go? Oh, interesting. No, that's not it. There we go. All right, now we have the right one. All right, first house, Gemini, because 522 is Gemini, might be at the beginning, is at the beginning of Gemini, and that's what we're putting in the first house. This is what I call a soul chart, and a lot of people don't quite understand the birth wheel, and that's, you have a hard time seeing the different aspects in using a birth wheel. So what I did was created an astrology, basic astrology, so that you can learn. And what I have found in using these soul charts, you can see aspects quicker than in using a round wheel. Why, I had just taken a shower prior to cleanse myself to start fresh and new, and I didn't realize I had taken a little bit longer than I had planned. I forget there's more of me to wash. And then I had to feed the babies, the fur babies. And if I don't brush my hair out while it's still wet, I don't like ripping it when it's dry. So just gonna do a quick brush. And there we go. Okay. This is my indefinite chaos, learn astrology, basic science, and we have what the houses are, and what the planets do in each house, and then we also have the astrological aspects or signs and what each of those mean, and that's just on the one side. And then on the other side it tells what they mean, and I have them color coded and signs and symbols, so you can see the outlines of them are different ways in different patterns and colors. So that is a flashcard system that you can use to learn the glyphs. Now on here you will see the zodiac symbols down the sides, on both sides, starting with Aries, ending with Pisces. Along the bottom, you have the planets. You have 360 degrees around the Earth, divided into 12 12 signs are 30 degrees. So when you're looking at the number, the degree number, and where those degree numbers match up. So let me write this down. Oops. Blue does not want to work. That's why I had to change it. So, whoops. 5, 22, 22. And this is for 1776 RM. Now, what I am going to do is put in green today's date. And that is August 13th, 22. And I should put the 2 in there, but I doubt if you'll see this in this format in 3022. Okay. I guess I should have gotten my whorehounds because I know that my voice is going to dry out. So let me quick grab a whorehound behind me. I'll be right back. Okay, now those of you who are on here, can you hear the air conditioner? Can you hear good in the background? Hello, Lotus, Bunny. Hello, butterflies are free. Are you the one who asked me about doing a chart for 1776 butterflies? I think that you're the one, or at least you might have asked me if I ever did one. So what I'm going to do is show you how this is done. I had looked up in the ephemeris, okay? For those of you who don't know what an ephemeris is, this is the ephemeris. And this is 1950 to 2050 at noon. And it has a whole lot of information in it. And, well, this I have for August. And put all the information out for what's going on. But that's how I looked up for the 1776. Here, let me show you. Just in case nobody wants to believe. I'm going to put that right there. And then I think that you can see. And then you go on the 22nd. Which here we have the 22nd. So following that along. And that's how we got these numbers right here. So, Leo, look at, or Leo. Butterfly, look at where Leo falls into, and that is communication. So a big part in your part of falls into communication. Well, I guess we have to say or agree on that because you're here talking to me, so you're in communications. There is a delay in the screen, so hopefully I'll be able to get the hang of what I'm doing with glancing at the questions that people might have. But I can always go back over them again. So here we have the sun. Here we have the sun. The sun is in the first house. The sign is Gemini right here. Okay, so that's at 1 degree. So we're going to put the sun right here at 1 degree. Now, usually I'll write it up here, right beside the sun, but I like to start at the bottom. You have 0 degrees, 15 degrees, 30 degrees. 0 to 30 is each sign. So we have the sun at 1 degree of Gemini. Gemini is very communicative. So learning how to communicate, because it's at the beginning. You know, how do I communicate? All right. Now, what I found really interesting is that the moon. Now, when I looked at the moon and I figured it, if you look at the 18, well, it's in Aquarius. I was figuring in the afternoon because the meeting was somewhere around, I can't quite remember the exact time. I think it might have been like 8 o'clock or whatever. But we were there when it was. Now, the meeting didn't start until later. So, it was in a void of course. And it was in a void of course, which means that really nothing's much going on. And in the morning, Saturn was conjunct the moon, which means lessons. Lessons and emotions on top of each other. So what was going on that day? And for those of you who don't remember, there was a lot of things, and this is early in the morning, and we're talking lessons, and we're talking the moon in Aquarius. Now the moon went into Pisces at 1549. Which is 3:49 in the afternoon. Now, if we're looking up here, it really didn't go into until about 6:43 in Pisces, and that's 1 degree. So since this is somewhere in around the meeting, and that's when it officially, whatever, I'm going to go with right here. And it was a 3rd quarter moon. So that means it's right in between the full moon and the new moon. It's coming up to a new moon. It's waning on to a new moon. Wax on goes towards a full moon, and wane goes towards the new moon. And from what it is said, it is best to have surgery in a waning moon. So the moon we are going to put at 1 degree of Pisces. So we look for our glyphs. Here's our glyph, tells you what Pisces is, or what it is. So since we have the sun over there, we're going to put the moon, moon over here. Now, are we going to have funny problems with the red? Oh, sugar, I forgot. I just got done on top of that. So hang on. Let me get a paper towel and wipe that off and see if we can get started. Alrighty. What I do is I have these laminated so that you can use a water soluble and just wipe so that you can reuse them over and over again. Although I've been debating, which reminds me I forgot to put this back out on Patreon. I just got my Patreon up running again. And I've been debating on if I wanted to do downloads of these soul charts, and also the glyphs. And I shall show you my glyphs. Here we go. These are something that you can use also. You can put the numbers on these. 1. I might have to go for a different color, sugar. Hang on, maybe that might be it. My poor water soluble markers that haven't been used in too long are complaining that they're dying already. No, it won't work either. Sugar. Alright, well anyhow, water soluble, you can write on here, tells you about quickly about the planets, where here you have it is exalted up here in Aries and Leo, and I'll just put it basic. It's at its highest, its greatest in Aries and Leo, the sun. It's at its weakest in Libra and Aquarius, and it transits every 30 days, and it rules the 5th house. So that's what we were just talking about, and then I'll get the moon up here, but we gotta find a color that will work, that you guys can still see it, and we are on the moon at 1 degree. Oops. Looks like an eye, but 1 degree. Alright. And here we have for the moon, it is in the highest in Taurus and Cancer. And it's not so, it's weakest, there we go, in Scorpio and Capricorn. Alright. So we're looking at it in the communication with the Gemini. It's all about communicating. And we have the Pisces, the moon, in the career house. The career, the emotions, the beginning, they're both beginning. They're both beginning, formed since it started. For those of you who have been, you will understand what I am talking about. So, Mercury. Oh, sorry guys. I've been doing good not smoking. I haven't smoked in, it's been about an hour, no longer than an hour. About an hour and a half since I took a puff. So that's a good thing. I'm trying to quit. I don't know how many of you are trying to quit. Hey y'all, you're a Cancer. Okay, we're talking about, for those of you who have just joined, okay, hopefully you can read Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Now look at those glyphs, okay? You recognize where I had said what your sign is. So look for the glyphs in this chart. Now we already know that Leo's in here, and Leo's in here in communications. So here we have Cancer in here, and Cancer's in finances and possessions. So, who is that Cancer? You're probably, the Cancers in here are more into what's going on with the money. What is the money being used for? Where is it going? Leo would be really good in communicating, getting the information out, what's going on. And remember, this is the birth of. This is the birth of, and by the 1 degree, the sun and the moon, what is in the first house, self, and career being in the 10th house, and in Pisces flip-flops. Pisces is square. That means there's friction. What I want, who's rolling, what the career, where we want to go in this. And for some reason, we're not seeing eye to eye in what's going on. All right. Now we have our, oops, wait a minute, what color are we using? Don't quite remember if that one worked. I think I used, all right. Anyhow, now we're going to Mercury. Here's the coin for Mercury. And what's really interesting is that Mercury, Mercury retrogrades. We'll get into that later. Okay, highest and best in Aquarius and Gemini, communications. Not its best when it's in Pisces and Sagittarius. And Pisces again. So, Mercury is 1 or 0 degree. There we go. Mercury is 0 degree retrograde in Gemini. So here you have your Mercury, and it's retrograde 0 degrees. And that means that the communication being 0, retrograde means that it's going away from who it is. So the communications, this new beginning, who you want to be, but the communications of who you want to be is going away from. So Mercury going away, and it's square, remember the square aspect of it. It's like, oh no, even though it's powerful in Gemini, it's still going away from. So I think that those of you who have been with and have seen all the different BTM, WTH. Oh, I'm going to give you guys an education. I guess I have to try to speak in a layman's terms. So I'm going to leave these out, and all right, Venus. Mercury's communications. Now we're in Venus. And Venus is 22 degrees of Aries. So over here we have Venus, 22 degrees. Now, Venus is love. Venus is values. Venus is possessions. And it's in the 11th house. How is 1776 fueling itself? But through its friends and associates, by communicating their hopes and wishes. That's where their money, and it's quick. and it's short. Aries starts but doesn't always finish. So the love that was there at the beginning might not be there at the end. When you have something, you have to value it. If you don't, it tends to leave us. Now we have Mars. Mars is also in Pisces. And Mars is 28 degrees. So Mars is work. Mars is energy. And remember the flip-flop of Pisces. What's the 28? What's the flip-flopping in the career? Do you think that there's been a little bit of flip-flopping in the career of 1776? Oh, just a little bit, I would say. What is it? Where's the communications? What is the flip-flop? So, we also have Jupiter at 2 degrees of Aries. Jupiter is multiplying. Oops. 2 degrees. Really, I'm going to have to get some better, finer water-soluble that have not run out, because that looks horrible, but I guess as long as I know what it says, that's all the good thing. Okay, so Jupiter is multiplying, and there was a lot of money that was really flowing at first. And it would come in spurts. Here's some money here, here's some money there, hopes and wishes, you put it out there, and money's coming in. You know, it might not be a continuous from one person, but there's some cash flow that, Liberty Bell, are you the one? I didn't quite remember who was the one who told me about doing this, and yeah, really, I should do it more often. I didn't bring my logbook out here, but I did do the charts, but I didn't do 1776. I didn't look it up and put it in, and somebody had asked me a couple more times, and it's like, you know, I got to do it and look at and see what it is, you know, because it is what it is. As above, so below. That's a big part of. Okay, so we have Jupiter in there. Jupiter multiplying the money. Now we have Saturn. Saturn is 25 degrees of Aquarius. Saturn, 25. Now, Saturn's the teacher. And how have you learned your lessons? And did you ever notice the midlife crisis? It used to be, you know, when you turn like 30. I mean, when I was a child, 30 was old. And as we grow older, we look at 60s old. And we look at these midlife crises and what they call them, and that's at 29 years. It takes 29 years, or yeah. Saturn is in the sign for 2.5 years, so it takes 29 years to go around. And what lessons do you need to learn? So when we have Aquarius, and it's in higher learning and long distance travels, what lessons have you learned? What lessons do you need to learn what lessons are you teaching? And you pretty well have to learn your lessons before you can teach others. That's why I have basic astrology. I am by far an expert. I do have an astrologer who I love, Kelly M. Beard, which she also has karmic tools. She was a regular on my TV show. And then we also branched off into, I co-produced her karmic tools. And yeah, I can teach you what I know. I can't make you want to know. All right, so yeah, I really wanted to do this earlier. So we're both looking at this at the same time. I did get a chance to go through the ephemeris and write down all the numbers, but I didn't put them in and really look at it. So now we're really looking at it. Now, higher learning, teaching, Aquarius, that's humanitarian. So getting out, the purpose of it is really to get out and to teach others. That's a big part of. But what are you teaching? There you have the flip-flop in the career where you're going one way, and the next thing you know, you're turning and going another way. So it's always going to be like that because it's square. Now, yeah, when the sun moves on and the moon moves on, that's going to be transiting other houses, but this is still pretty much what you call the soul chart. The meat and potatoes, what the movement and what it is, what is going to happen with the movement. Now, Uranus is in Taurus at 15 degrees. So Uranus is unexpected. Sugar, maybe it was that other one. Okay. I promise next time I do one, I will have pens, washable markers that work. Alright, let's try it. So, what was I saying? Uranus, 15 degrees of Taurus. Uranus. Alright, come on, baby. Uranus. Okay, Uranus. Unexpected, unusual, inspirational, and it's in the 12th house. So who are they inspiring? Well, what's in the 12th house? Hidden enemies, secrets, jails, institutions. Is that where they are going to be inspiring people? I know that they are inspiring people at the DC jail, those who were in or have been charged from the J6. They're in there and they're inspiring them. And that's, I think, fantastic because it's not fun going to jail. And there again, how many people have found themselves so far in this movement? And there again, it's unexpected. So, tread lightly and head on swivel, because Uranus in the 12th house, jails, that's a possibility. Oops. You mean it's a reality? Just remember, this is a chart for the movement itself. Okay, so Now we have Neptune coming up. Neptune and Neptune illusions and delusions in Pisces, which is already a flip-flop. Okay, Neptune at 25. Excuse me. Oh, sugar. Neptune at 25. Well, I'm glad that I can read my writing. Sorry, people, if you can't read it. I promise the next time I will have better pens. Or else the next time I'll just have some clean sheets and won't use water soluble. I also like doing that. And then I have a record of. Okay, so Neptune. Ooh, Neptune in Pisces. Career. Ooh, are we seeing things clearly? What is the delusion that is going on? What is the smoke and mirrors that is going on in the career? Ooh, it gets more interesting the more we go on. Okay, so Pluto, change, transformation. It is at 28 degrees of Capricorn, and it's retrograde. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh. Okay, Pluto, come on, baby. Let the good times roll. Oh, this is no fun. No fun at all when your markers don't work. Pluto. Oh, come on, baby. You only have one more red one. Pluto. Come on, Pluto. Well, while we're trying to get Pluto to come out in the 8th house of inheritance, taxes, other people's money, Pluto is change, transformation, death, rebirth, and it's going backwards, changing things. Capricorn also represents the government. So when they are complaining, there's a lot of complaining in the government regarding the taxes. But in the same thing, I would not have done a sole proprietorship if I was setting this up. I think that is like the best thing that I could say, but we're going to keep going on further. Alright, now North Node. I don't have the North Node because we're getting into a more of advanced, but the direction of it is 22 degrees of Taurus. Oh. 22 North Node. Okay, so that's the direction that this is heading. And okay, Chiron. I'm gonna just stick it all in here, and then we're gonna discuss it, because I'll tell you what, it's becoming a little bit more and more obvious why I was pushed out. Like I said, I really don't pay as much attention to astrology as what I really should, because doing it, I have a heads up, and yeah, Virgo here. Hello, Lorraine. Virgo, here is your glyph for Virgo. Right here, Virgo would be in the 4th house. So that would be home. So you are probably observing this more from your home environment. Alrighty then. Yeah, people. You heard me explaining when I was putting it out there, but I'm going to do a little bit of a synopsis of what's really going on. Now, something I can say is the good thing about with the jails and inspiration and things like that. Santa's going to be very inspiring when he does go and do in behind, whether it's jails or institutions. That is something that he should look towards. Well, this isn't, no. This isn't Santa's. Santa isn't in on this right now. I don't know his birth date, so even though he's at the helm of, this is what the ship that Santa is at the helm of. It was born 1776 RM. Restoration Movement was born on May 22nd of 2022. Santa had claimed that it started at the Red Man's Lodge. And that was, let me see, where was that? In Maryland. After we were, after the People's Convoy ended, that is when 1776 was started. So 1776 started, and we had talked about the dates and everything like that, and the time and the meeting. And even if we don't call it the 1 degree of Pisces, the moon 1 degree, the sun 1 degree, it's still, these are square. If we're going across, these are challenging. Let me put it that way. So this would be beside this, and that means that it's a square. Up here at the top, I have conjunction, square, trine. What else do I have? Opposition, just basic ones. But a square is 90 degrees. So once you start with 1, you start over with 12. And, oops, sorry, there's 12. So these would move over. I don't know if you're following me, but take my word, this is how it is. If you want to know more, I'm going to be doing more and explaining more of astrology using these. But 1, 1. Look at other numbers and see what is close to 1. Remember that 30 degrees also would be close to. So these are far enough. They might be in the same, but they are going away. So the work is going away from the happiness, and it's going towards Neptune, which the delusion of the career. So the career, in talking about with Mercury down in here, Mercury in Gemini, let's talk about it. How are we going to do this? And there's many different ideas. on how this really should be done. And money is coming in. Money is coming in a little bit here, a little bit there, mostly from friends and associates, because they also have this dream. They have a commonality. They are supporters of a dream. The hopes, the wishes, the dream that we can all be united, because understanding if we aren't united, then we're going to be divided and we fall. And that's what they've been trying to do with the United States, with the Constitution, trying to take away, to chip away. And it's been decades, centuries, passed down in a lineage, passed down in a bloodline, a thirst for the conquer of. So we're seeing that going on. And here's this new movement, 1 degree, just starting out, just talking about what it's going to do. But it really doesn't know what it's going to do because of Neptune. Let's flip-flop a little bit in the career. Well, we're going to go a little bit another way. Now, when we're talking about there's lots of dreams and stuff that's coming up in there, and ideas, but it's in Aries. And Aries, Aries has lots of brilliant and likes to plant the seed, but it's not going to stick around and make sure that it's growing. So if it's not used wisely, that's not a good thing. And especially when you have the Uranus in Taurus. Have you learned your lessons? Hopefully you have learned your lessons, because if you haven't, it's going to be costly. It's not every lesson costs. Not saying that they aren't worth their value, but I had heard Corinne speaking with Santa earlier, and she'd said about she'd rather take a bullet than go to jail. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, girl, I know exactly what you're saying. I can imprison myself in my own mind. I don't need to hear the clang of bars and expect my fellow humans to treat me in a human form. Because that's one of the things that needs changing in our society. And there again, I don't know. Is that why? Is that the purpose of the 76? To make a difference in the criminal justice system? I don't know. But it just might be a possibility.